Now, TV presenter Trinny Woodhull has admitted in an interview with Tatler magazine that there's more to her looking fabulous at 46 than meets the eye. She says, I think it's unnecessary to go all coy and French and pretend you're just amazingly beautiful naturally. I would advise women not to be shy about admitting that they've had Botox. Is she right? Do women have a duty to confess that they've had a little bit of help to look good?
I think people should be honest, if I'm truthful, because, you know, people look at you. I mean, Sharon Osbourne is the one that said, you know, I can't possibly look like this at my age without having had something done. And for people to think at home that a pot of cream can make you look like that is so annoying, isn't it? And so not true. And it really, really annoys me. So I do think we should come out. I do think we should be truthful. It's an unrealistic expectations to think that you can look like that without any help. And there's nothing wrong with it. And I have to tell you, I did it. I got started because I went to a surgeon one day because I thought, I think I was about 43 and thought, ooh. And this woman greeted me and then went out into another room and I heard her say to a nurse, now she's a good candidate for a facelift. Well, the only thing I will say is that, of course, that started that all going there. And I thought, oh, God, she must think I look terrible. And I think that's what we do. Now, if we admit it and go, no, I don't look like this naturally, I've had a bit done, I haven't had any fillers and stuff done for a long time. You might say I need it. But what I'm saying is I haven't. But I have had it done. And I do think if we're truthful, it makes people think, oh, well, she didn't, you know, you don't look like that with a pot of cream. And I think it's important.
I agree, Sherry. I think, you know, when people have got a different face, as in Sharon Osbourne and a few other people, you know, from telly, they look totally different. I think there is a need...
What do you mean by totally different? You mean to how they looked before?
Well, Sharon Osbourne's got a completely different face.
Okay.
I mean, she looks so different from what in her 20s and 30s. I think then you just look an idiot if you say, yeah, OK, you know, I've had nothing done. But if you're just getting tweaks or a bit of a, you know, anti-wrinkle injection or whatever, it's nobody's business. Why do the British feel the need to sit and confess it all? In America, nails done, little injection or whatever, it's seen as maintenance. And I don't see the need why people seem to be confessing all the time.
I think that I may be a little bit too honest about it, and I don't know whether it's just because I am quite an open person, which I've learnt to my detriment on this show many, many times before, or whether it's a case of me getting it out first before people either say or sort of out me about it, because you know, I've never said I'm embarrassed about it at all. And I sort of, it's a bit like sharing. It's like when we went to Bangkok and we, you know, I know you're not supposed to say, but you know those bags that you can get, they're a little bit cheaper than the real ones. People go, oh, look at that fantastic bag. And I always go, Bangkok, 40 quid. You know, so I think it's maybe the same as that. But I've had, you know, bits.
What have you had done?
I've had lots of bits done. Right, here we go. So I have my fillers done here.
Yeah.
Now, I'm quite lucky that I don't have a very deep nasal labia, which is the correct word for it. So I do sort of keep that up now and again.
Do you ever worry, as a serious actress, that it could affect you?
Serious actress? Not anymore, Claire. Yes, I think that reputation's out the window. No, I don't. I don't worry about it. I have very good people. I make sure that I research it well, and I've got really, really good people in the north, and who, if I have a little bit of anti-wrinkle injections that don't make me look like that, so I can still move my face.
But you see, you don't go on
my eyes done.
But the thing is, so Denise, you don't go into a magazine and say, oh, I look like this age. Naturally, you actually, and that's what I'm saying.
Well,
I think
people are very intimidated when they meet me, Sherry, so I like to put them at their ease.
Yes. And tell them. As long as you don't lie about it.
I think if you're not lying about it and selling a product or whatever, that's one thing. But at the end of the day, if people ask you outright, actually mind your own business. Yeah. I get my roots done, I get my nails done.
No, I mean, it's like I had, you know, I made a present to myself, which I've talked about on my 50th birthday, which I didn't have sort of like massive shopping bags under my eyes, but I did have bags that were bothering me, and I had them done. If I have them one day and then they're gone 2 weeks later,
it's obvious.
It's quite obvious, and as long as people are commenting in a sort of quite an affirmative, positive
Unless you
way,
see you've got a magic bag fairy, but the thing is we haven't got magic bag fairies, have we, ladies?
Well, apart from the old horsefly.
You mentioned, in America it's seen as maintenance. Like I said, I've just come back from New York and it was brilliant. My friend Jane and I, we went and had our nails done and people were just walking in off the street, you're going to have a manicure, going to have a pedicure. 50, 60 years ago or whatever, people didn't necessarily dye their hair. Now I would have salt and pepper, grey and dark hair. I don't want to look like that, so I have a colour rinse put through. I shave my legs. Otherwise I'd have hairy legs. But by the same token, is that cheating? I don't think so. I think it makes you look nice.
I
If you have other bits,
having it, Claire.
I think it can be quite off-putting for men, and I've suddenly become aware of it now. Being single, I have hair extensions, but my head feels like Medusa.
Medusa.
It's not a sexy feel. If anyone comes to stroke your head, you're like that. Dodgy dance,
you look lovely. That's what
I just think things like that can be off-putting to men, so why confess? Let them think it's all natural. It's nobody's business.
Yes, I'm naturally hairless, Steve. Right. We're not